Charlie, Director's Report.
All right, thank you.
One abstention.
Okay.
Well, first I want to add my congratulations to Commissioner Flores. Welcome to the commission. And as Chair Jeffrey said, Commissioner Hoff will be joining us next month. The City Council has held one meeting since your last meeting. That was on July 18th. They did a number of things that I want to tell you about. They had a study session on Topher Delaney's peer review of the Park Avenue District Plan. This session resulted in no changes to the plan, and the City Council directed us to bring the plan back to them for approval as presented, incorporating, of course, the previous council comments as soon as possible, and we are planning to bring that back to council for adoption on August 18th. The redevelopment agency approved a contract with architects Don Logan and Marcy Wong to prepare conceptual plans for an interim arts center for the building behind us here, which, as you probably know, we now own, the brick building at 4060 Hollis Street. That building will be housing the annual Emeryville Art Show. It will also have space for the Emeryville Historical Society. Incidentally, recently I attended a planning directors meeting in San Leandro at their local history museum, which was very inspirational. It was a great little facility, and I thought this is a good model for us to have something like that. If we can get the Emeryville Historical Society to put together an exhibit as well as just having a little office over there, I think that'd be a great thing. The council set a hearing date for August 18th for Howdy Pup, who are appealing their traffic impact fees. You may remember that from your last meeting. They said they thought they would do that, and they are doing that. The council also approved the general plan amendment for the new pedestrian bike route between 53rd and 55th Streets through the Pickleworks and Thoroughbred property. They heard the appeal of your denial of the signs for Boyd's Auto Body, and they denied that appeal. So basically they upheld the Planning Commission's decision, and the signs have to come down. They also passed an ordinance prohibiting medical marijuana dispensaries. So that moratorium on medical marijuana dispensaries is now over, and we now have permanent regulations in place prohibiting those facilities. The next council meeting is next Tuesday, August 1st, and just a couple of things I want to note for you about that. One is a study session on parking that the council will be having prior to the meeting. That should be very interesting. It'll be a comprehensive look at all aspects of the parking situation. You may recall the issue about compact spaces, where you suggested it be reviewed in the context of the general plan update and as a comprehensive overview of all aspects of parking. That's what this study session is trying to get at. Secondly, if you get the council agendas and packets, you will notice there is an ordinance on there pertaining to sidewalk cafes. That item is going to be pulled from the agenda at the meeting, and so that we'll have an opportunity to bring it to you so that you can review and comment on it before the council adopts it, and I'm hopeful that we can have that on your next agenda for your review. The general plan update had their most recent meeting day before yesterday, the general plan update steering committee. That meeting featured a presentation by John Schuerman and Steve Keller about their ideas for the future planning in Emeryville, including their proposal for a streetcar line to replace the Emery-go-round. I believe they previously made a presentation to you at a meeting that I did not attend, so this was my first opportunity to see their presentation. I thought it was pretty impressive. There was also a discussion of jobs, housing balance, residential and employment densities, and economic and fiscal impacts of development. That was continued from the June meeting, where I and Pat O'Keefe had made presentations on those issues, but there hadn't been time for a discussion, so they had the discussion at the Tuesday meeting. In August, the consultants will be coming back with future development scenarios, which will be reviewed by the committee and then presented at a public workshop, which at this point is scheduled for October or November. I've given each of you, you'll find in front of you, a new revised schedule for the general plan update. Shows where we are and where we're hoping to be. We are right now finishing up Task 4, the sketch plans, and moving into Task 5, the preferred plan selection and refinement, which will be going into the fall and to the end of this year, and then on to the draft general plan next year. And speaking of the general plan update, at this point, I want to mention that, as you probably know, the Planning Commission has 3 representatives on the General Plan Update Steering Committee, and they have been Chair Jeffrey and Commissioners Germain and Troiting. Since Commissioner Troiting is no longer on the Planning Commission, that means he's no longer on the General Plan Update Steering Committee as your representative. I understand the City Council is planning to appoint a replacement for him from the Commission to the Steering Committee at their next meeting next Tuesday. And I thought you might want to take this opportunity to make a nomination of who you would like to suggest that the council appoint in Ed's place.
I would like to put forward Gail Edmondson's name. Donaldson, I mean, sorry about that.
And I'll second that.
Okay. I don't know if that needs a formal...
Gail Donaldson.
Oh, Donaldson, I got
Just want to make sure that's clear, not my other friend.
Do you want to take a vote, or is that by consensus? All right. We'll pass that on to the City Council. A couple other things. Last month, Chair Jeffrey noted the article that was in Planning Magazine about our stormwater guidelines for green dense redevelopment. And I realized that I think I've neglected to announce to you all, this is the document in question, which we published after a year or so of effort with an EPA grant. And I think I've neglected to report to you that we have received an award from the American Planning Association for this plan from the northern section of the California chapter. And we have been nominated for a chapter from the state, an award from the state chapter as well. So kudos to everybody who worked on that, especially Diana Kina, who was the project manager of it. This document is available on our website for free, including the Excel spreadsheet that goes with it, or you can buy a hard copy for $25 at our front counter. I also want to mention that I went to a meeting this afternoon of the Technical Advisory Committee of a new regional planning effort called Focusing Our Vision, Building a Network of Neighborhoods. This is spearheaded by ABAG, the Association of Bay Area Governments, the local regional planning agency. It segues off of this effort that was done about 4 years ago, which is the Regional Smart Growth Strategy, Regional Livability Footprint Project. This kind of lays out a general strategy of dense infill development in inner city areas and preserving regional open space at the perimeter of the area. And the Focusing Our Vision effort takes off from there and, as the name implies, focuses it a little more closely. They're going to be looking at a lot of different factors that affect development and overlaying them and mapping them, and then coming up with what they call priority development areas, PDAs, and priority conservation areas, PCAs, to identify exactly where the growth should be occurring and where the areas are that should be preserved. So I went there to kind of make sure that Emeryville is on their radar screen as a focus of a transit-oriented development around the Amtrak station, and just to keep tabs on what they're doing. Alameda County has 2 representatives on this TAC. One is Jerry Ram, the planning director of Dublin, and the other is Larry Cheeves, who is the city manager of Union City. So we'll keep you informed about the progress of that effort. And at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Carol to talk about item A under director's reports, unless you have any questions on anything I've mentioned so far.
Charlie, I did want to ask you about the study session with the council on the parking alternatives. Is a consultant going to come in and do a presentation, or is staff going to lead that discussion?
Staff will lead the discussion, Diana and Ignacio Dayrit from Economic Development. But there will be a consultant there that some developers have hired to do a PowerPoint presentation about parking garage design. Is that right? Do you want to say something, Diana?
They've hired Watry Design to do a 10-minute PowerPoint about the effect of various percentage of compact space allotments on development projects.
Okay. And this is going to be on which council meeting?
Next Tuesday.
The first.
I think it's 6:30.
Okay, thanks.
The commission should be aware you're required to do 2 hours of ethics training pursuant to AB 1234, and the training must be completed by January 1st. And because there's 7 commissioners who have to complete this training, we thought perhaps the most efficient way to do it would be to bring a trainer here. Because we'll have a quorum of the planning commission, it will be a noticed meeting of the commission. And basically, there's a couple of options. We can either start the planning commission meeting 2 hours early, or maybe 2.5 hours early, and accomplish the training before our regular planning commission. We could do it after, but that doesn't seem practical, since it would be quite late and early into the morning. Or to schedule it on a Saturday or another day of the week. So essentially, it's put on the agenda so we could get feedback from you as to what the preferred time for the training would be, whether you'd prefer Saturday or would you prefer scheduling it before a regular planning commission meeting. And then we would, based on your feedback, we would try to get it scheduled either in August or September.
I've already attended the meeting, and I've sent in the
Okay.
information to the...
Well, that's
clerk.
great. So I was curious if any planning commissioners had. So in your case, you would then not have to attend.
Come early or stay late.
Yeah.
Where did you submit the documentation
Did you
to?
give it to the city clerk?
City clerk,
Okay.
which is what I was told to do.
Yeah,
Okay.
Perfect.
Good.
I'd like to just get it done the same day we do a regular commission meeting.
So would I. Gail, how about you?
If we can do it on a short agenda night, that would be great.
Right. I'll work with Charlie in terms of trying to project out and see when we think we'll be lighter in the next couple of months. And then we'll bring the trainer here.
Okay. Is that all right with everybody? 4:30?
4:30
At-
or 4:15, which
or
should give us
four,
enough
yeah.
time to get it completed before the meeting
We should
starts.
say 4. I'll say
Okay.
4.
4 o'clock? Okay.
Nobody has? Okay, that's okay. All right. Okay.